Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Maisy Mok. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The Prince of Wales Hospital apologizes and pledges improvements following a baby's death. A Hong Kong student accused of posting seditious material online while in Japan is granted bail. And President Xi Jinping meets Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates in Beijing. The head of the Prince of Wales Hospital has admitted there was an error when treating a premature baby who died earlier this week. Chung Kin-lai said the case cannot be simply classified as human error, and the hospital will investigate thoroughly. Prince of Wales Hospital Chief Executive Chung Kin-lai and two pediatric doctors have apologized for the death on Tuesday of a one-day-old infant who was born prematurely. The infant had heart problems and died 12 hours after it was found that the stopcock of an infusion tube was not open, preventing essential medication from getting through. Chung admitted an error and vowed that the hospital will not evade responsibility.
As my direct contact with the father and mother and their relatives, they are still in very deep sorrow. Okay? I have sincerely apologized to them for what they experienced in this hospital. We will support them, okay? We provide clinical psychology support for them.
Chung said the case could not be classified simply as human error. He said the two nurses and two doctors who dealt with the infant are fully experienced. All four are currently on leave. The hospital has tightened guidelines to ensure that staff check the infusion tube stopcock when patients are being treated. It has also set up a panel to look into the sensitivity of infusion equipment to see whether medics can be alerted quickly if a problem occurs. The panel will also look at procedures for nurses treating infants. A report will be submitted to the hospital authority in 8 weeks. Two giant ducks, which admirers had hoped would bring double luck to Hong Kong, will be departing earlier than planned. The rubber icons made their official appearance in Victoria Harbour last Friday and were scheduled to stay for 2 weeks, but it was announced today that they will leave on Sunday. No reason was given for cutting the visit short. Last Saturday, one duck had to be deflated because of the extreme heat. One of the pair will bid farewell to Hong Kong by sailing in a 2-hour parade to celebrate Father's Day on Sunday. A Hong Kong student studying in Japan has become one of the first to be charged under the national security law for an alleged offense committed outside the city. The student was arrested when she returned to the city to replace her identity card and was accused of sharing posts with a seditious intent on social media. Janice Low reports.
A police van carrying Yun Cheng-ting arrived at the West Kowloon Magistracy this morning. The Hong Konger, who's studying in Japan, is alleged to have used social media to share posts that had a seditious intent between September 2018 and March 2023. National security officers arrested the 23-year-old in Sao Mau Ping in March, but only charged her yesterday. According to a Japanese academic, Yun had returned home to replace her identity card. Tomoko Ako, who teaches at the University of Tokyo, said the student had shared posts which carried certain messages when she was in Japan. Although the alleged offense was not committed in the SAR, Article 37 of the National Security Law states that this law shall apply to a person who is a permanent resident of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Magistrate Peter Law granted Yun bail of $10,000 in cash and a surety in the same amount from her mother. The student has to report to police twice a week and remove all social media apps in her electronic gadgets. The case was adjourned to August 2nd. Janice Low, HKIBC.
6 people have been arrested on suspicion of vandalizing the Hong Kong showrooms of mainland automaker BYD. Red paint was splashed on 2 showrooms and a service center, while a car rammed in the shutters of another showroom earlier this week. 5 men and a woman, aged 34 to 48, were arrested in Yuen Long and Tuen Mun over the past 2 days. The men are alleged to be triad members. Police are investigating whether someone ordered them to act and have not ruled out further arrests. The Happy Hong Kong campaign is continuing this summer with free shows in Wanchai on 5 consecutive weekends. The entertainment is part of the Tourism Board Harbour Chill Carnival, which includes extreme sports and street performances at the Wanchai Harbourfront. The highlights of the $40 million carnival is beginning on July the 8th are music shows on a water stage. Top local singers, including Jason Chan, Tyson Yoshi, and Kelly Chan, will perform. Tickets can be obtained from the Tourism Board's website. President Xi Jinping has met Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates as China doubles down on its effort to reconnect with the world. The cordial meeting also sets the stage for a highly anticipated visit by top U.S. envoy Antony Blinken this weekend. Raymond Yeo reports.
Bill Gates and Xi Jinping were all smiles as they posed for a photo call at the Diaoyutai State Guesthouse in Beijing.
你是我今年见到的第一位美国朋友。
You're the first American friend I've met this year, the president told the Microsoft co-founder. I always believe the foundation of Sino-US relations lies among the people, Xi added, while calling for more exchanges.
Very honored to have this chance to meet. And we've always had great conversations, and we'll have a lot of important topics to discuss today. I was very disappointed I couldn't come during these last 4 years. And so it's very exciting to be back.
Gates is not the first U.S. business leader to travel to China this year. Tesla's Elon Musk was in the capital only last month and met Foreign Minister Qin Gang, while Apple boss Tim Cook paid a visit in March. But neither was offered the chance to meet Xi, underlining Gates' status among the Chinese government and society. The meeting also came just ahead of a visit by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. He will be the top U.S. official to visit China since 2019, as the 2 economic powers try to mend their rift. Raymond Yang, HKIBC.
A U.S. nuclear-powered submarine has arrived in South Korea 1 day after Pyongyang resumed missile tests. The USS Michigan, which can carry 150 cruise missiles, sailed into a naval base in Busan as part of efforts by Washington and Seoul to beef up their special warfare capabilities. The allies say they aim to counter any nuclear threat by North Korea. But Pyongyang accuses the United States and South Korea of trying to provoke a confrontation with frequent military exercises. Coastal states in the Mediterranean have been accused of failing to help migrants as a search continued for hundreds of people missing after their rickety boat sank.
Coastal states challenge the notion of distress with the hope that the boat will continue its journey to reach the Italian search and rescue area of operation. And we've seen some coastal states providing food, providing water, sometimes providing life jackets, sometimes refueling the boat just to make sure it leaves its own search and rescue area of operation. On that, we find it totally irresponsible.
Flags in Greece flew at half-mast for the 78 migrants confirmed drowned. Another 104 were rescued and taken to the southern Greek port of Kalamata. There are fears that hundreds more migrants, including dozens of children, were trapped in the hold. Greece said those on board had turned away an offer of help from a Coast Guard vessel, insisting that they wanted to go to Italy. At least 15 people have been killed and 10 injured in one of the worst road accidents in Canada in recent decades. Rescue helicopters were sent to a rural part of Manitoba province after officials were alerted about the accident. Police said a lorry hit a bus carrying mostly elderly people near the town of Carberry, 170 kilometers west of Winnipeg. The drivers of both vehicles survived, but officials did not say who was responsible for the crash. The local stock market has closed at a 6-week high on expectations that Beijing will provide another dose of stimulus. Policymakers are under pressure to give the mainland economy another shot in the arm after a set of bleak statistics unnerved markets. Speculation of a liquidity boost saw the Hang Seng Index gaining 1.1% to creep over the key 20,000-point level. Techs again led the rally, with Alibaba rising 3% and Tencent 2.3%. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up by 211 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tracker Fund was up 20 cents. Alibaba was up $2.60, while Tencent was up $8. Kuaishou was down $1.25, while AIA was up 35 cents. BYD Company was down $1.20. To the forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, euro is at 8.56. The British pound is at 10 points, while the Australian dollar is at 5.37. And in the UK market, the London FTSE is currently up 27 points. Borrowing has become more expensive in Eurozone countries after the European Central Bank raised interest rates to their highest level in 22 years.
Are we done? Have we finished the journey? No. We're not at destination. Do we still have ground to cover? Yes, we have ground to cover.
The latest 25 basis point increase took the interest rate in the 20 countries that use the euro to 3.5%. Inflation in the Eurozone has dropped to 6.1%, but its central bank is determined to bring it down to 2% by raising rates. On to the weather now. More thunderstorms tomorrow, but the rain will ease off later. Temperatures will range between 26 and 30 degrees. Expect sunny intervals to return on Sunday. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Friday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Maisy Mok. Good evening.